30.
Oh, and it's recording. All right. Our guest this week is a comedian, a podcast host, a Comedy Central veteran, and a pretty damn good chef, Shaun Latham. Shaun, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Good to be here with you guys. I appreciate the invite and, making it happen.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on such short notice and getting us a guest for this next episode. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, what do you
Like
guys?
Jordan
What's
said-
going on here on the No Brains, No Headache, man? What are you guys up to? What's the deal?
Honestly, it's all over the place. Started at sports, and now we're just kind of like whatever comes to mind, whatever we think is funny, we're going to throw out there. So it's
Listen,
it's
you
kind
got
of hard to find our niche.
You got a vinyl banner. It's all downhill. It's the most important thing about is having a podcast is having yourself a nice vinyl banner. You know what I mean? You got two guys. You got the guy in the mouse. You got the guy in the iPad, and you're ready to fuck shit up. You know what I mean? It's a weekly thing. We got the banner. We're ready to rock and roll. We know how to do live streams. Let's get into it.
We actually have two of those banners, so don't sell us short. But
Whoa,
thanks for
talking
noticing.
backup banner here. One of you guys is type A personality, and I respect that.
Hey, let's jump right into it. I want to talk about $20 Chef. What's the idea behind the show, and what would you say your specialties are?
I don't know. I started like 4 years ago or something like that. I always like to cook. Well, not always, in your 30s, especially as a comic, you come home, you don't want to go do shit. You just want to be at home. And then I started cooking with a roommate. And he was really good at it. We had a fucking great time doing it. We'd always be drinking beers, cooking, laughing. The dishes aren't a big deal when you're having a good, like, whatever, right? It's the least amount of your worries. So I just kept doing it. And then when I started using Snapchat, I just started doing it with that, and it was kind of doing well. People enjoyed it. So I just kept doing it, having fun with it. And then when I got to working with Pat McAfee, he asked me if I would do any video content. And I said, all right, well, I'll try this. I mean, a cooking show can maybe work. I don't know. I do it on Snapchat. They like it. So then I just started trying it out. And then, he was a huge influence on the first couple of years, especially that first year. He really stepped in and really helped me make it as best as I could make it. I'd definitely say he was like the executive producer because he was on every episode filming. He was, you know what I mean? Like he always had input. He'd jump in. It was awesome time. But overall, it's just about, one of the bigger things with cooking is that people think they can't because they haven't. Man, you can. It's not that big of a deal. It's a mental hurdle. It's nothing more than that. I'm not making all types of different roux and shit. I'm not sitting here doing anything that you have to have a 10 years of a 5-star, restaurant experience and a culinary, fucking whatever, graduate or whatever, certificates and shit. You just got to do it, man. And that's it. You start easy and that's it. And you just got to read a little bit about it and read the recipes and follow along. And it's not hard. So, when I get tired of just spending all my money and never having leftovers and shit. And it's just always like, if I'm hungry, I got to leave, got to go get food. I just really love, as a kid, we never ate out. We only cooked. So I don't know. It just kind of made sense. Now everybody has a cooking show and there was already 50 million of them before I showed up. So I don't know. I just wanted to show people kind of that with a little bit of money and a little bit of effort, you could actually, have a little bit higher quality of food life if you're not out here being able to spend $1,500 every time you go hit a spot,
What were some of your favorite dishes or anything that you just love making every time, or what's your go-to?
I love making steak, man. You can't go wrong. It's, I'm a big New York strip guy, but again, meat prices are through the roof. So, you got to do what you got to do. But if you want to cook some, I love Korean short ribs, but I love doing them with non-Korean spot. Like my last episode was Mexican short ribs. Because I love that cut of meat. It's so good and it's under $10 a pound, so you can actually work with it. I love most of my favorite dishes I make are Mexican. My go-to stuff's mostly Mexican. Chili verde, kind of pork dish, or making pastor tacos. Just getting a lot of stuff. Anything grill. If I could just be on the grill or a flat top, man. Let me be the breakfast DJ. Somebody else hit play on the music, but I'm going to be the guy that's important. I'm going to be the guy on the griddle with all the action going. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what I like doing. I just like having a fucking drink in my hand and just cooking food, bro.
Well, exactly. What is your policy on having a couple of drinks while you're cooking? I mean, you got to have a few. It just makes it all that much better. Am I right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to have a cocktail. Like, what are we doing here? Now, if you don't drink, at least get a nice non-alcoholic cocktail in your hand. You know what I mean? Whatever your choice. I don't give a fuck if it's Kool-Aid. You know, get a nice big-ass 32-ounce glass filled with ice and some Kool-Aid in there. Nice and just make when that makes you go, like that's the sound that you're looking for. Like no one's ever had something they don't like and went, like it's never happened. It's something that you only get maximum satisfaction. It's a sound that comes from maximum satisfaction. So as long as that's happening, then you got to have it. But I'm definitely, drinking cocktails, having a beer, whatever. It's got to happen.
Yeah, I usually like to shotgun about 3 or 4 beers before I eat. Get the stomach ready, nice and wide, ready to go.
Yeah, I respect that move by you. That's a good move there. And for you to look at that move as if it's a room situation of you creating more circumference for more stuff to fit in there. Got to love that too. Never thought of it that
way. I wanted to know about a specific item that you made once, and that was crab rangoon mozzarella sticks with fellow chef Donnie, the Wonton Don.
Yep.
How did they turn out? First of all, I didn't even get to finish the video I was rewatching earlier.
No, it was really good. He's really fun. He's a great guy to hang out with, man. He's just so cool and chill. And, he don't have a ton of recipes, but the ones he does have are fucking nice and dialed in. When he does come to the table with something, it's nice. You know what I mean? Like that he's just a good dude.
I definitely went down a rabbit hole of his videos like a while back, months ago, pandemic times, not doing a whole lot, and definitely kind of got introduced to you through a few videos you guys did with each other. So that's awesome. He's a great guy. Say you're sitting around watching football all day, maybe you're tossing some bags. What's your ideal appetizer just to kind of munch on throughout the day?
Now, again, that's where the short ribs could come into play because I'll buy let's say there's a certain amount of people in my house. I'll say, fuck it. I'll go spend $100 on short ribs, right? Or $80 and get 8-10 pounds. You cook them. They cook quick. You can marinate them for a little while. Then you cook them. They cook quick and you chop them up. And it's like an appetizer because you're getting the one bone with the meat on it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's probably my favorite. And I'll cook some peppers up with it. Maybe some, like I did in the episode, I'll cook up a few, poblanos or whatever anybody wants, onion, jalapeno, just a medley, and you mix it in there. Maybe throw in some sesame, depending on if you want sesame seeds, if it's on the Korean side, if it's the Mexican side, you're going to want to put on some cilantro or, some scallions cut up, give it some color, give it a little bit more life. And that's it. Other than that, appetizer wise, you can't go wrong with barbecue shrimp, obviously. Depending on what size shrimp you get, how much money or what your budget is. But also one of my favorite appetizers of all time, and I'm not saying I can munch on this all damn day throughout the day, but, you find a time when you find at a store, you'll find lobster tails on sale, right? You grab as many as you can, and then you just cut them in half, right? And then they're open. Now you got these little 2 cups. There's just lobster meat in there. So you got your little garlic butter mix, and you got your you hit it with a little bit, maybe put a little bit of fucking paprika or something in there, a little spice, a little chili powder, and your melted butter with your little brush and your garlic and stuff. You put them on the grill, and obviously one tail is 2 halves. So you put a bunch of those out there, you spend $40-$50 on them. You got a dope ass looking grill with maybe 10, 20 little half tails, long ways you cut them, You're out there, you're buttering them, and they just, again, another operation that you pull off the grill, and you look like you're fucking Gordon Ramsay because you got a table full of lobster tails with, you got some scallions tossed on for garnish. You got the color, the flavors there. You got a little spice. So, I mean, it depends on who you're cooking for, what you're doing, but overall, that's anything bacon wrapped. Obviously, you can't go wrong with. You know what I mean?
Bacon wrapped tree bark would hit the spot.
Like if someone said, "Hey, are you gay?" and I said no, but if you wrap a dick in bacon and cook it, I might take a bite. Like I'm not.
Well, I'm basic compared to you. I just like chicken wings. I don't want to speak for Matt, but he's a big nacho guy, so we're pretty basic.
Wings all day,
Fuck
bro.
me
Put
up.
the wings out there on that grill. First you want to put them on you want to have only half the grill on. So you want to char them up first out the gate, the wings. Get a nice char going, get some of that black char on there. Then you push them off over on the other side, on the non-heat side, the indirect heat. You fucking shut it and let them just roll, bro. And I can do that all day too, bro. And it's so easy because it's kind of hands off after you char them up and toss them to the side. Mix some peppers in there too, bro. Whatever. Get a nice tangy, sweet and sour barbecue sauce or some shit like that. Put on some more sesame seeds. Fuck it, bro. Sesame seeds on everything. Because you know why? Because it's the No Brains, No Headache podcast. That's why, you fuck. I also highly suggest getting a bullhorn. It's a really good investment.
Well, I want to get into your time with Pat McAfee. Where did you meet Pat?
I met him at a show. It was 10 people in the crowd, and he was 2 of them. Him, his brother, and no, it was 3 of them. This was years ago before he met his beautiful wife. But it was him, a person at the time he was dating. This is like early 2016. And then his brother. And I'd heard of him. I never met him. And then he came to one of my shows, and I happened to just go absolutely bonkers on stage. And I had a really fun set, and he just loved it, my energy and shit. And so we ended up started talking and being buddies, and he started booking me. And then we just started working together, man. And he was just awesome. We were just best buddies there for a while and just fucking chilling, riding Harleys, bro, kicking it, just flying around in jets to Pittsburgh or Myrtle Beach or fucking Detroit, just living it up, man.
Jump from Myrtle Beach to Detroit.
Well, Myrtle Beach, I had a show, and he came out with me, and he took over I gave him one of the nights. And then Detroit, we flew in to watch it with our homie Connor Daly to watch him race at that IndyCar race up there.
You guys do it all.
It
was a good time, man. That guy's an electric human being, bro. There's not many like him. I'll tell you, I've hung out with 30 million people, and I've met like 3 or 4 people in the realm of that energy group. It's like Neo from the Matrix. That guy is unbelievable. He's going to go right to the fucking moon.
Well, when Pat kind of split from Barstool and you ended up going with Barstool, what was that conversation like? Was it just like, hey, I got to go do this? Or what was kind of your mindset there?
Well, it was more like him. It's like when he split off, he couldn't handle everybody's. I was one of the higher paid guys, my salary, because my show got ad money, right? So the whole goal to the Barstool world, well, at least what I thought at the time, no matter what the goal was to make a product good enough to sell ad space on. That way the company makes money. They could pay you, and they're not paying you out of their own pocket because your product is so good. Labatt Blue buys $200,000 worth of ad, marketing dollars on your show for the year. Your salary's covered. You know what I mean? Like, they're not paying me. And my product made a good enough product that people came to it and threw money at it. So I'm end up paying my own salary, right? I mean, I'm not directly paying myself, but I'm saying, a lot of these shows, they don't have any kind of advertising on the platform on Barstool. So they're just getting paid from the company to be there. Like if you work at fucking any other company. So that's like, that's the connection of like the sports world. Like the better of the product, the more money, you make for the team, the more money the team gives you. That's how it worked. And so Pat, I was doing really well and I was making a lot on the show. And Pat was just like, it's time to fly, homie. I can't really keep you on. They're going to be able to pay you double. So you might as well just go do your thing, man, and get your bag and just try and do your best. So that's what happened. I still talk to him regularly. I mean, he's still my homie. I don't work with him. Like, it's all sports over there now. It's all sports. It's either sports or he's fucking commentating SmackDown. I mean, fucking Friday Night SmackDown. So, it's a different thing they got going there. I'm trying to do my own thing. I got some stuff happening. I'm just same, just doing the same old shit. I just trying to just hustle every day and do content, bro, and tell jokes, dude. Do anything to not have a real job, guys. That's the whole key.
Yeah.
Is the polar vortex going to make a comeback?
I fucking hope so. I hope so, bro. I used to love doing that. I actually found a video that they made a cartoon out of that. That's like the only. That's another thing that I think that I could probably. I don't know if I missed the window by now, but unless I went back on Pat's show as the Polar Vortex, but that was like the biggest character I've ever done in my life. Like it's not even close. Like that character to this day, like people still. It's been years, and motherfuckers still want to know what the fuck's going on with Polar Vortex. As soon as it starts getting cold, here comes Polar Vortex.
Well, it related a lot to. So we're up in North Dakota, and when you guys were in Minnesota, and it would come out when you were at Cowboy Jack's doing all that recording, and the Polar Vortex would come out, I would just be rolling because it was just so relatable.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was so. And honestly, I just get to talk. I love that character because I can say whatever I want to anybody. Like nothing of real life works in that realm. Like I could tell Pat to fuck off. I could tell anybody to fuck off. Right? Like fuck right off. You don't fucking know. You're not the Storm. I am. You're a bitch for the radio show. You know what I mean? So, like, it was just so much fun because I didn't mean a word of any of it. I just got to spew bullshit with no meaning, with no like real anything. It was just talking shit. It was just a pure shit talking thing, and I can't get enough of it. And I hate that it went away.
Well,
you know, I got asked to do it, and I feel like an asshole now. I should have said fucking yeah. I just didn't know if Barstool's gonna get mad if I did it with Pat. So I should have fucking just did it, man. I regret that. I hope to God he asked me again.
Well, the season's upon us, so I'll wait and see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. You never know. Never look for approval of other people. Just go do what you want to do. That's my motto.
If it's a company and your job's
regrets.
on the line, it's a little different. I mean,
well, yeah.
But again,
still, he's got to go out on the limb, see what happens.
The whole saying hindsight's 20/20 is a motherfucker, right? So what are you gonna do?
Well, let's talk about something that you had the honor of participating in from Barstool, Rough and Rowdy, the boxing event. You got to do it not only once but twice. I want to know about the second time. What ended up happening in your latest bout in Rough and Rowdy?
I beat the fuck out of that kid, man, real quick. But I trained hard, bro. Like I trained like I was gonna fight fucking, Ryan Garcia or Canelo. You know what I mean? That's the only way you could do it. You can't half-ass it. Like you have, like in my brain, it was like the biggest thing of the world happening. It's like the Thrill in Manila, and that's the only way that I can do it. Is if I can't give around the clock, commitment unless I'm that deep into it and that my mentality is that hardcore about it. Because if I think it's half-assed and I do half-assed, and you're going to get half-assed results. And I had already been training for years just for fun, mostly jiu-jitsu, but with boxing too, with Chris Lytle, who's an absolute UFC legend, and some other guys that are all beasts. And, so it just kind of all fell, the timing all came together, man. It just all kind of worked out. And my training, the second time I trained hard in New York, I was doing 6 days a week. I was doing a couple of 2-a-days, like 4 days a week. And I was training at this gym that's no longer there because COVID butt fucked it. And I'm so upset because the gym was so good. The Mendez Boxing, and these guys were such savages down there, and they trained so hard, and I sparred so much. So I was just ready, bro. And I didn't know I was that ready, though. I didn't know I was like offhand, after missing the power punch to go straight in with the next one right down I just was happy that it looked so clean and flush, like night because he was out cold, like up, like arms behind the head, classic fucking night lights out. And that made me feel good because a lot of people were watching. And I'll tell you, it's really weighs in the back of your mind when you're going to do something like that with so many people watching. Like the what ifs are really large. Like, what if this guy?
Well, it sounded like he was
talking
he was talking a ton of shit, and then you knocked him out, and then he tried to fight you again or something.
He ruined it for me, bro. He couldn't accept that he just got. Oh, I got up. You would have gotten it worse if you were fresh. I did that to you. What do you think's gonna happen when you're fucking half in the bag, my man? I'm gonna butt fuck you. But he ruined it. I should have went back out and fought him again, but the adrenaline dump was so wild, bro. I was in a fucking being pulled in a million directions at the same time. Smitty was saying, don't do it. And I just said, fuck it. I didn't do it. I should have did it. But it kind of ruined the end. And they acted like Marty Mush fight was worth a shit. Like that fucking fight was dog shit compared to my fight. That fucking fight
you
was
win anything?
That was two girls. I won money.
Okay.
I mean, I got my lady was there and she watched me do it, and I had my buddy Luke Rockhold, tape me up and walk me out. Like, it was an incredible event. Except they didn't put me last, and they put fucking Marty Mush up after me on some bitch ass decision fight. But what are you gonna do? He's a good guy. It's not his fault.
Nothing like a boxing match followed up by Marty Mush and you knocking the guy out and he's just talking way too much shit. But no, it sounds like a great honor. Sounds like
fun.
you trained very hard for it. I
really
mean, you
hard,
gotta.
bro. Yeah, I trained really hard.
Is that your personalities where you just, if you do something, you do it 120%, or was that an exception?
No, you got to go all the way in. I go all the way. Most of the time with comedy, I've never second guessed it, and I started no one. You got to, dude. Otherwise, if you just half-ass, again, half-assing anything, you get half-ass results. It's already hard enough to get results when you're completely balls to the wall, knee deep in the shit. So to assume you're going to get any kind of results when you're only kind of trying, which those are the people that complain the most, right, about not getting results, or those that aren't fully going balls to the wall with it. Like, they aren't fully, like, utterly 200% committed. They're the ones that are the biggest complainers why things aren't going their way. It's like, well, they're not going your way because you're not even going the full way. Like, what do you expect here? Like, I've been playing cornhole, right? And I started playing, then I started working with the American Cornhole League. Now I throw 1,000 bags a day almost. I didn't do it this morning because I had some meetings on a fucking Patreon stream, but I'll get my work in today. You got to throw for at least 4 hours a day, and it's definitely the results. What I like about it, the difference, is that it's the first time in a long time where I've done something where how much work you put into it actually does pay off relatively quick. Comedy, you can go up 5 nights a week, but you can't do 4 hours of comedy a day just to get better if you want. It's not a choice. You get 5 minutes a couple times a week, and then if you're a hustler, you can get it like 10 times a week for 5 minutes, which is still only 50 minutes of crowd. So in the best month of your life, you can maybe get 4 hours of practice. And then when you are good, there's politics, and there's this, and there's agents and managers and blah fucking blah and timing, right? And there's so many other things that get in the way. It's never just how funny you are. With cornhole, it's if I'm out there for fucking 10 hours a day, bro, next week on league night or whenever, like, I'm telling you, you're going to see improvement. I won last week at my league night. I went 10-1, and I fucking won the night. That's my favorite part about playing cornhole right now, is that you get back exactly what you put in. There's nothing else matters. It's like, okay, it's you only. It's just a you thing. And if I'm out there for 4 hours every day, I'm out here making big time shots now at league night. You know what I mean? And it's because of the hard work in the mornings. So that's what I love about another thing I do, which is the cornhole thing, because I finally found something that there's not 10 other things that matter outside of how hard or what the product. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to switch gears before we have to let you go. I know I heard this story when you interviewed a certain someone, but what does Gabriel Iglesias eating edibles mean to you? And could you give us a quick story?
Yeah, no, someone gave him a cake, and it was a weed cake, and he didn't know. Because we used to get cakes after every show. I worked with him. I was on the tour with him for years. Sometimes you eat the cakes, but a lot of times, like, you accept the cakes to be generous because they're generous people that make, a sacrifice of making a cake and for you from them, bringing transporting the cake, carrying the cake, holding the cake. So we always accept the cake. A lot of times the cakes would be given the staff of the building, whatever we're at, right? Sometimes we eat them, though. Gabriel ate some of the cake, and it was a fucking weed cake, and that dude was lit. He's not really a weed guy. He's not really, like, once in a blue moon, you'll see him puff a joint, but that's like one out of every fucking 5 years, maybe. I saw him do it once. So he's not a weed guy, right? And he ate the weed. Even if you are a weed guy, don't mean you're a weed cake guy. Because it's a whole different operation. It shouldn't be called weed. It should be called a whole different drug, because it's not the same as smoking weed. But he was fucked, dude. The next day he was lit the whole day. I've never seen anybody high that long because he ate the cake and it was that fucking good. This kid, I've never seen fluff like that, and it was awesome. And he still has a story to tell because he told it on our podcast.
Yeah, that's kind of where I grabbed it from, but it was because that was right after we had Todd on ours, and I was just like listening to the story and the fact that this happened, and I can just see someone that eats a half of a weed cake.
Yeah,
I don't know how you don't end up in the hospital.
Yeah, that was wild. And that his story about how he. But I remember the next, like, he couldn't function, bro, until like 5 or 6. There was, I think, it might be a small chatter of canceling the show. It's like he couldn't go up because he was so fucking lit. Gabriel couldn't, like, he's not a guy. I'm a stoner, and it took me a long time of hanging out with some super stoner headliners to be able to be comfortable being stoned up on stage. It's not easy. It changes your, here's how stand up is, right? It's like each crowd is their own energy. And then there's a comedian, you come up and you're a rhythm, line of rhythm, like a heartbeat thing, right? You're just a flow of rhythm. Now, the key to a stand-up is to figure out or hope that you jump on the same you get the same rhythm going with the crowd. Now we're together, we're working together. You're not always, it's this a lot. If you're a slow guy or this or that, and they don't get on board with you, then you're not going to have a good set. So the energy when I smoke weed just changes completely, and I don't know how to operate and do my thing to my best ability when I'm in that energy level. So, and it's not that I have low energy when I smoke weed. I've already smoked weed this morning. I'm just saying, like, in general, when people are watching and the lights are on, there's more of a tendency to sit back as opposed to move forward. And I'm a forward guy, so I don't really do it, but. Yeah, Fluff, that ain't his game either, bro. Fluff not really, he'll drink Patron. If you don't drink Patron, he ain't doing shit, bro. Except maybe some Advil.
Well, Shaun,
all he does is get money, bro.
Hey, we can let you move forward with your day, and we really appreciate you coming on No Brains, No Headache podcast. This was awesome.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you guys for the invite, and thanks for getting me on, and keep crushing, bro. It's all about them reps, kid.
Absolutely. Everybody buy a bullhorn. Thanks, Shaun.
All right, see you guys later, man.
Take care.